We are So Not Straight would like to acknowledge the recording of this podcast takes place on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations.
And now, a quick message from our hosts.
Alrighty, everyone, now is the time you've all been waiting for. Our All-Stars 8 Fantasy Draft.
Draft!
Yeah, that's right, we're back. We decided to do it, just Michaela and me for this one. You know, keep it close to home.
And I was saying close to home in the podcast, all those things.
Yeah, I didn't want to say in the family, but...
But, in the podcast.
Yeah. So we had not like a filmed double premiere, but it was a 2-episode premiere. They put 2 episodes out. So just like a quick refresher on the teams, Michaela has Naisha, Lala Ree, James Mansfield, Mrs. Kasha Davis, Darian Lake, and Jessica Wilde. And I have Heidi Ann Closet, Monica Beverly Hills, Kahana Montrese, Candy Muse, Alexis Michelle, and Voldemort. So
Why do you, every time, we're going to get so much hate for the fact that you don't say Jimbo's name, right?
Fine, Jimbo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but we did lose 2 people, and this time Michaela lost one and I lost one.
Yeah,
so
we're
I'm
equal.
not just... If y'all remember our last draft, I was down to 1 queen for the longest time. And
DJ was down to 1 queen before any of us lost another one.
It was so depressing. I shouldn't have lost Irene, but...
Damn.
Anyway.
But yeah, we lost 2 queens last week, and I lost Naisha in the 2nd episode, and DJ lost
Ms. Monica Beverly Hills.
Monica Beverly Hills, thank you. I was like, who did you lose? You literally said it earlier, and then my brain was like, nah, don't remember that one. But yeah, so DJ lost Monica Beverly Hills in the 1st episode, and I lost Naisha Lopez in the 2nd episode.
Monica was tough because, there was something... I think it was, deer in the headlights kind of moment, because every time we saw her perform, she had this just glazed over look.
Right? Okay, so fun fact for everybody. DJ and I watched the episodes together. So I said to DJ, I was like, I just feel like she just had, this almost, I'm really serious look on her face, almost like we couldn't see her personality.
It was when I catch my dog eating my couch, and I'm like, Hamilton, what are you doing? And that's the look he gives me.
Yeah, so it was kind of just a meh performance for me. That's how I felt.
But also her, story in Untucked was, moving. And I was like, yeah. I don't know who I would have sent. I don't remember who the bottoms were, but also Naisha was, a little... But, I guess it makes sense, this season, I kind of don't want anyone to go home again, because I feel like these people had a lot of evolution that kind of went unnoticed, so getting to showcase it here is really important. The Drag Race fandom is, so just quick to jump, and so I feel like these competitors definitely had a lot to show, and be like, I'm not, a failure, especially with the early outs, and, especially, I think, Darian in particular from season 6. I loved her on season 6, but a lot of people didn't vibe with her. So showing that evolution, which is a part of All Stars, I think that's a good thing to see from this cast, and I kind of want to see that evolution a little bit more.
I'm kind of sad with the 2 people who went home on these 2 episodes, because I feel like they had a lot to show, and unfortunately, I feel like it just didn't happen for them.
I also feel like the lip sync in episode 2 was a little lackluster. I mean, what was I expecting from She Devil by Night over there?
Oh my god.
Pangina, I was like, bitch, you have this iconic,
the reunion Okay, but like the reunion of the century. I'm just saying,
Oh.
like.
I know. I fully called it. I called it. I was sitting
Okay,
there
that
like,
is true.
if we have Jimbo, we're gonna have, what if we get like international lip sync assassins? And then Pangina walked out, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a battle. I mean, a very
We truly
one-sided battle.
believe we truly believe that they were hiding Pangina in the back and just waiting for Jimbo to, win an episode so that they could just bring Pangina out. I honestly feel like that's what it was. I feel like Pangina was just sitting at the
They had
hotel and they
Pangina
were just
locked
waiting.
in the World of Wonder basement.
We were just waiting for that moment, but like that was iconic. And I've
But
said
it
it
would have been
before,
even
and
more iconic if it was a good lip sync, but Pangina just kind
okay,
of stood there and spun.
exactly. And I said it once, and I'll say it again. I said this for Canada versus the world. No, not Canada versus the world. UK versus the world. There we go. I get my things mixed up. UK versus the world. Uh, Jimbo can't lip sync very well, and I'm really sorry about that.
That's not
And
shade. That's just an
anybody who
astute
wants to come for me.
observation.
Well, like, I mean, I think Jimbo would even agree, like, the lip sync trying to save Lemon was an example of it. But
That was not trying to save Lemon. Jimbo was like, Lemon, I'm gonna save you, and then gave that performance. It's like Lemon should have just walked out on herself.
well, Lemon
Like,
shouldn't have even been in the bottom, but we're not gonna get into that point. Anyways, um, but yeah, I feel like there was a lot more to show from both of those queens, and I'm sad that we're not going to get to see it. However, I really like the twist that they're doing this time. I think it's a really cool
yes.
twist.
I also think it's a good twist, because yeah, we said like they didn't get to show everything, but now they get to show just the looks. I mean, we don't get the personality, but I'm glad people put a lot of time and effort into their looks, especially from All Stars. And we've
Yeah.
seen cases in the past where people go home and they put like a lot of money into their looks.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for this. And they get a cash prize at the end, whoever wins. I'm very excited.
I think that it's a really cool twist, and we know for a fact that like majority of them would have probably posted their looks anyways, but it's cool that, everybody's going to get the opportunity to see them even if they don't follow them, which like you should be following them, but if you don't follow them, like that's cool that you're getting to see their looks anyways. And like you said, I think it's really cool that they get a cash prize at the end too. So yes, anyways, I think that about covers this week. Stay tuned for next week, where you will find out which one of us loses another queen. And now, let's get into the main part of this episode.
Welcome to We Are So Not Straight,
the podcast where two drag sisters talk about everything curvy, swervy, and crooked.
We are your hosts, Michaela
and DJ, and we are so happy you're tuning in.
Who knows what that sounded like?
I'm sick.
I love that's the fact that you needed to say right after I said that.
I am. I just need to let everyone know that my gorgeous, sexy, stunning voice will not be appearing this week because the air is attacking me. It's not fun. Please send help.
We both have some pretty bad allergies going on right now, but
I'm on so much Claritin right now. Like, it's not. It's
gonna be a fun episode, everybody.
Oh wait, shit! My eyes are watering. Oh my god. Alright.
Oh, poor DJ.
Kill me.
Anyway. For the record, DJ is not crying on the pod. DJ is not crying on the pod. DJ's eyes are just watering from the pollen.
The literal fucking... It's the yellow shit, too. It like coats your car. It gets in your pores. It's in everything. It's stuck to my fucking dog, who was clean because I gave him a bath. And then he came inside fucking yellow. And I was like, that's not right.
Not Hamilton coming in yellow.
Literally, because he rolls around in the grass and shit. So he came in, and his entire, like, right side was just yellow. And I was like...
I love that.
I'm wiping you down before you sit on my fucking couch. Like, come here. And then he tried to run away from me. Anyway.
Oh my god.
We are so happy to be back with another episode of Season 3.
But before we get into that episode, we just want to clarify a couple things.
First off, drag is art and art is subjective.
And all forms of art are valid, so anytime that we mention anybody's drag or any type of art form, we are representing it and commenting on it based off of a competition or something around those kind of lines, and not actually on a person's actual art that is theirs, and all forms of art are valid.
Yeah. And second of all opinions stated on this podcast are our opinions and our opinions alone.
Yes. So this week, obviously, if you listened to last week's podcast, you know that it was my pick last week. But that means this week is DJ's pick. And DJ picked a show called Q Force.
Yeah, so, okay. So, like, so far we've had shows that were kind of like, oh, yeah, I've heard of them, maybe. But Michaela actually didn't know about Q-Force, which is surprising. But, I mean, kind of not. I mean,
Well,
like, we'll get into it.
Yeah, I was about to say, we'll get into it, but, like, basically, I just didn't grow up with these types of shows. Like, these just weren't my types of shows. And so that's kind of why I'd never heard of it. And we'll clarify more about that in a little bit. But DJ, do you want to give us a little... once you finish yawning. Would you like...
Oh, fuck. I'm not okay this week. It's not going well. My body is turning against itself, and my eyes are watering again.
Okay, podcast listeners, don't say that DJ and I don't go through things for you, okay? DJ is actually
I'm in the trenches right now. Fuck.
See, this is why DJ is my best friend, everybody, because even if he's dying of pollen allergies, he's still gonna come and film the podcast. Anyways, DJ, would you like to give everybody a quick rundown about what this show is about?
Sure. So Q-Force is like, it's very, so like the style, like the genre is kind of like that adult kind of cartoon, like BoJack Horseman or like Inside Job or like Family Guy or like The Simpsons. Like, it's that kind of humor, but like young adults would also be fine watching it. Like, it's not like Simpsons is for like the 40-year-olds. This show is kind of, it's set for a younger and obviously queer audience. I mean, it's called Q Force. The Q does stand for queer. Surprise, surprise. We're not talking about straight force. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys.
Yeah, so going a little bit into why I had never heard of the show and stuff like that, we're going to go a little bit back into my background. So, I grew up in a town that was basically all...
Bumfuck nowhere, Canada. They were eating moose to survive. They were throwing logs on a fire. Little House on the Prairie.
No, okay, stop. No, I basically grew up in what is called the Bible Belt of British Columbia. And
do y'all have that?
If you're from there, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, so I grew up in this little town that was pretty much the Bible Belt of British Columbia, and we didn't really watch shows like that, but more specifically, like, my friend group.
They didn't even have TV.
Shows like that. And my mom didn't. We had TV. Stop. Do you like how I heard it after and then I just didn't think about responding? Nice. But anyways, my mom wasn't a fan of Family Guy, The Simpsons, all of like the humor and stuff that went with those kind of shows. So I was not allowed to watch them growing up. It just wasn't a thing. I also wasn't allowed to watch Recess on Disney Channel, if you guys know what that is. I was not allowed to watch that, which is so sad because I actually really like that show. But anyways, not the point. So I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, all those things. And because of that, I didn't grow up with that type of humor, and therefore I don't find that type of humor funny. So for me, this show was not in my wheelhouse of shows that I was interested in watching, so it never came on my radar.
Okay, wait, hold on. You were allowed to watch Glee as a child, but not fucking...
I was only allowed to watch Glee because my mom watched the first season before I watched any of it, and she
Okay,
watched
but
it.
that's
She said,
like the
"Okay,
first
this isn't
season.
that bad." But it wasn't even that. It was also because it was the music aspect of it, and my mom knew how much I loved music, and so I really wanted to watch it for that aspect. So she watched it to make sure it wasn't too inappropriate, and then allowed me to watch it. But I was also slightly older at that point too.
I guess. Anyway, I mean, could you tell how fucked up my childhood? Like, this is not the poster. I am the poster child for someone that is fine. But
we're fine.
yeah, I get that. But like, I mean, I didn't like grow up watching it, but Family Guy is there's just something so stupid about it that like when you watch it you're like, wow, this is dumb, but I enjoy it. So it's kind of like you're making fun of yourself in a way. I don't know. But I love Family Guy, and I like Q Force because I was like, because of what I mentioned before. It was like, okay, it's like a little like cartoon, but it's queer and it's like more like adult, like it's my age kind of focused. Now that I'm 300 years old. Um, no, but like, I don't know. That's why I enjoy it. But Michaela kind of didn't.
Yeah, so just to clarify, before we get into our little quick recap of kind of the episode and things like that, before we get into that, just to clarify, I watched a single episode of the show. DJ has seen the entire series, so I have not seen anything past episode 1.
This bitch went through one episode, and they're like 45 minutes, like max, like top. And she could only make it through episode 1. I had to watch 3 episodes of Grey's Anatomy that were an hour long each, and I had to listen to Meredith Grey talk about issues with her goddamn vagina for half an episode to get to the nice one. Anyway. Go listen to that episode if you want to hear my thoughts about it.
I was about to say, please go listen to that episode. It's a good episode, I gotta say. But also, what was the thing that you were telling me before we started filming, DJ, that you were willing to do?
I did say, but it's like a barter here, because I was like, like Grey's Anatomy is like the show that like everyone talks about. So I said I would watch it.
We're watching it.
Michaela has a gun under this camera right now and is like, we're fucking watching it.
I got nothing. My hands are clean.
She's gripping it with her pussy lips.
DJ, I'm cutting that out. That's gross. Absolutely not.
You ain't never seen the TikToks. It's like if someone's scrolling through Instagram and then the camera will pan down and they have their hand in their pants and they'll go like,
no! I have never seen that, nor do I want
I have to try and find one and send it to you. Oh my god. This one girl at the lab, she puts her vape under her boob because she's like a A, B, C, D, E, F, G. She's like an H cup, okay? Like, this girl has some fucking
Did you just have to
titties.
do the alphabet thing?
Well, no, because some bra sizes skip. Like, it goes to, like, a certain size, and then it goes to, like, Z.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Because, like, I'm trying to think of, like,
H.
kit size. Because, like, a D is, like, the standard, right? So A,
Right.
B, C, D, E, F, and G. Like, this girl got some big titties, and she hides her vape in there. And I was like, slay. Anyway.
Love that. Anyways, we are going to quickly get into the premise of the...
Yeah, this is just like episode 1.
Show. I guess it's episode 1. So we're going to get into the premise. So stay tuned for our quick little recap of what happens in episode 1 of the show.
Okay, so the premise is, so episode 1 is like the pilot, right? And it's kind of all you need to know. The rest of it is just like storyline with this cast of characters.
And this is the only episode I actually watched, so it's the only one I can actually comment on for you. You're very welcome.
Anyway, so our main character is Steve Merriweather, but his spy name is Mary, and it's explained why in the episode 1. So I call him Mary. It's just what he's called on. It's what he's titled in the show.
It's what his title is. So he basically becomes the valedictorian of like secret agent school,
Yeah.
and in his valedictorian speech, he chooses to come out as gay, which doesn't go over
Mm.
well with the secret agent area group people, whatever they are.
The AI, it's like the American Intelligence Agency, I think. So it's supposed to be the CIA.
Yeah.
Um, but like it doesn't go over well. So kind of once he makes this speech, the director is like, "Oh, actually, he's like Steve Harvey. There's been a mix-up, and the valedictorian is actually Buck, and Buck is like mutton chop beard, definitely has dick cheese, straight man who would like
Yeah.
he looks like he enjoys Coors Light."
My favorite thing that they said in that part of the episode was they said, "Oh, there's been a mix-up. The valedictorian is actually Buck, who is definitely straight."
Yeah, it's like Buck who is straight, and it's like it kind of. I mean, we kind of talked about like presenting straight like to like the public and shit, but like this is like supposed to be the CIA like graduating class. Like who cares? And the show is set in like 2018, 2020.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like
so.
set it's not like this is the 1950s. Like it's the 2010s and on. And so like it I mean, I guess to like provide the story like yeah, but like also like no one's going to care.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, after this whole mix-up and everything like that, he basically ends up getting assigned his own team, but the own team that I think he ends up recruiting them, right? He
Yeah.
recruits them, and in that kind of thing, it's basically like to get him to make him still part of the agency, but he doesn't get any they don't get any assignments. They're just kind of there.
Yeah, it's like there's this like trend on like TikTok. It's not like quiet firing, but it's like when people like request a certain person to do more work because they want them to leave. Like it's that sort of thing. So they're just kind of like, you're still a part of the agency, but like go over there. And so like the director is extremely like homophobic. So he's like he sends Mary to West Hollywood. It's supposed to be like a dig, but honestly West Hollywood is great. So anyway. So this is where we are introduced to the team. So first off, we have Michaela's breed of people. We have Deb, who's a lesbian,
Yeah.
and she's voiced by Wanda Sykes.
I was gonna say she's
Hello.
voiced by Wanda Sykes, which is really cool. We also have Twink, which is self-explanatory.
Yeah. Twink is Twink. Twink is the main reason I watched the show because he's like his like thing on the team is being the master of disguise. And if any of y'all are on TikTok who have heard the Ariana Grande ought to cause quite the stir at the Abbey, shout out to my gay brother Frankie, who is gay. That is from Q Force. If you didn't know, there are a lot of quotable things actually that I enjoy. But yeah, Twink is Twink. He has like lip filler and yeah. My kind.
Your kind. Yep.
So then we have Stat, who is they're meant to be kind of mysterious in the show, and you actually don't find out their backstory unless you look at their computer and like episode. It's later in the series, I forget which one, but they are actually a transgender individual. We don't find out their exact sexuality, but we my thing is like they could be like the community and the speculation in Reddit is like that they're demisexual because they form a really close bond. Spoiler warning, by the way. Like if you're, but just spoiler warning for like the rest of the series. They form a really close bond with a robot who has like super advanced AI. Like it's like you're talking to a person, but like it's in a robot's body. And Stat forms a very close connection with this robot and ends up kind of falling in love with the robot, which is the definition of demi. So it's like, yeah, that's just what we think.
All right, and then we have Buck, who is basically Buck gets added to the team,
Yeah.
which we'll explain kind of in a minute. But Buck is, as we said before, straight, but also is low-key homophobic, which is not good on a team like this. So
He's like, he's just like there on the team, and I don't get why he even puts up. Like, he puts up with them half the time, and then just every like 5 minutes or so, he's like, "You're gay." And we're like, we know, Buck.
we're aware.
We know. Like, you don't have to tell us. But like, that's his kind of character, and like, again, just annoying as fuck. Anyway, we also kind of have I mean, she's in episode 1. Her name is V, and she's not important to the plot until like the end of the season, unfortunately, because she is kind of the best character. But she's like under the director and is like the woman in STEM of the show. She's also a lesbian. We find that out later. So everyone is just munching box, like just everyone. You can cut that part out.
I will be. Thank you. Thanks for giving me permission to cut it out, even though I was going to do it anyway. But yeah, so basically the team decides to take a stand, and they actually end up going out on a mission of their own that they find. I think it was it Twink who said that they had like, yeah, it was Twink. It was,
Yeah.
they basically had like run into this man while they were performing at.
Twink is also a drag queen.
Yeah, this is the point. So Twink was performing as a drag artist at the bar, and basically finds this guy who they suspect is like a kind of a terrorist, I guess.
He has the briefcase handcuffed to his wrist and went to the fucking Mickey's at WeHo. Like, it's not the best thing to do. It's not Mickey's, but you know, I just like to think it is. So yeah, that's kind of like what happens in episode 1. But to make this a full podcast episode, I wanted to talk about some overarching kind of themes and like what just kind of like some main like plot points in the show. And the first 2 actually kind of go together. I'll put these together. But is like there was some very firm criticism from the queer community when this show first came out, and I can kind of see why. But I also enjoy the show, and I didn't think of it. And Michaela, I do want to hear your take on this as well. Sure. But people were kind of like, normally when we get queer people in TV shows, it's kind of just like, it's the gay best friend, and they're wearing pink, and it's what's the dude's name? It's Sharpay's best friend, Evan.
Oh, Ryan.
Is it Ryan?
They're twins, yeah. Sharpay and Ryan.
Yeah, it's like Ryan. Like, that's all we get for queer TV. And people kind of got the sense that this show, like, was that, but I mean, I kind of see it, but, like, I also kind of don't, because, like, we got a whole TV show, and it's Netflix funded, and, like, if you stuck around through it, there is some good writing in there. The relationships are good. It's not, even though he's called, like, Twink, it goes with the plot of the show, and he's not just, like, the, yes, mama, slay the hunty boost down, Versace, you know? That's my take.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I think I'm in the middle. I think it's kind of a case of, I understand why they did it the way they did it, because I think that it does cater to a certain demographic. But I also think that there are some things that could have been done differently. I don't think that the names were necessary to go with the character. I think even if they just had like a regular name, you know, like for their code name or whatever.
Well, Deb is Deb. I mean, I do have a comment on Deb, but...
Well, I'm not going to go there. Anyways.
No, go there. It's a podcast. That's why people listen.
Well, no, I think Deb, like Deb the lesbian or lesbian Deb, or like if you say les Deb, it's not super different in my opinion. But it's no, don't look at me like that.
No, I'm just like thinking about it. Like the wheels in my brain are turning. Like
The
I'm
wheels in your
thinking
brain are
about what you
turning,
said.
and you're thinking about it.
Oh God, with the
Because
voice, it just sounds so much worse.
but no, but I don't think it's that different. I don't think it's super similar, but I also don't think it's that different either. But like the one I have problems with is Twink. I don't think that was necessary to have that be their code name. I don't think it was needed. In the thing, I think it's very obvious kind of who their character is and stuff, even based off of just watching one episode. And I don't think it was necessary for that to be their code name. But that's
that was my other thing. While like yes, I do commend the writers because there were queer people that worked on this. I do want to say a lot of the people that worked on this were queer. So it's not like it's not like some straight people just kind of sat together in a meeting room and we're like,
that is one of my like pet peeves is when someone writes a queer story who has no idea about queer stories. Like, I'm sorry, who do you think you are? Like,
I want to show a shirt from a Pride collection because it will show up in the recording. But people were putting out their Pride collections, and Hot Topic put out this shirt. Hello, share.
Hello,
girl. Okay, I guess I'll just.
Girl, we waiting.
I'm trying. The Hot Topic put out this shirt, and it's the Grim Reaper and it's called The Drop, and it's a tarot card. And I was like, brava.
Can you for people who aren't looking at like the video on YouTube, which if you aren't watching on YouTube, you should go check it out on YouTube so you can actually see this. But for the people who aren't watching and are listening, it's a black shirt with the Grim Reaper doing a dip on a rainbow.
It's very good. And I mean, we can talk about like Pride and shit because June is next month, but probably at the end. Anyway, yeah, no. A couple of Deb's lines.
We will be doing a Pride episode. Don't worry. Yeah. We got it planned. Yeah. It's coming.
But one of Deb's lines is like, at one point she's with her wife, and it's like, oh no, you're wearing heels. You need your Birkenstocks for arch support. And I was like, why? No.
Not that.
And like, they also make Deb like the mechanic, which I was like, all right.
See, okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question because I'm interested to know your answer on this. So, what do you think about like lesbian stereotypes being shown in shows? So, like more specifically, I think in the idea of like having the short hair and the more masculine job, if that makes more sense to you. But like that kind of thing. What do you think about that being shown in queer media, or do you think that it should be shown differently?
I mean, a haircut is a haircut. Like how a person chooses to dress themselves and what job a person has. It doesn't matter what's between your legs, how you identify. Cut that shit. Like gender, jobs, not here for it. Like, but putting a person who does those things in this kind of light, it just wasn't my. I was like, okay, this is a little high gay, you know.
Well, exactly, and I feel like I mean, I'm gonna go back to the Grey's Anatomy episode. Here we go again. I know we've already brought it up once, but we look
What's that like? Life imitates art. It's just everything imitates Grey's Anatomy.
Well, exactly, but we look at like Callie Torres, right? Who doesn't look like the classic lesbian, if that makes sense to you. Right? Same thing with Arizona, right? There's like no classic. They're doctors, and like they don't have that short haircut. You know, like they don't have the classic stereotypes of what people see as a lesbian stereotype kind of thing in the show. Same thing with the Glee episode that we did last week. with Brittany and Santana, right? Both long hair cheerleaders, not the classic, kind
Also,
of
like,
more buff
how
characters.
could someone, like, sit there and say, oh, you look like a lesbian? Like, no. Like, what's that supposed to mean, bitch?
But that's what everybody, I mean, even if you look at, like, the stereotypes of what a lesbian is, right? It's very the classic, they're more masculine and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, but, like, I don't feel like I look like that. I mean, to be fair, I am bisexual, so I guess that is different. But I lean more towards girls. So
well, you don't look bi.
You don't look bi. No, but the whole thing is that there's this stereotype that they have short hair and that they look more butch and that they're the, like, more masculine one in the relationship and all this stuff, and the more strong power one, that kind of stuff. And that's, unfortunately, I think in this show we kind of got that stereotype with them.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, there is, like, a place for it. Because, like, in ballroom culture, we have, like, butch, queen, and drag. But that is rooted in a manner in which this show is not. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it's a different kind of sensibility.
Totally.
So, yeah, oh my god, where were we? So yeah, so the stereotype and then the harsh criticism from, like, the queer community about kind of getting, like, the scraps of shows and stuff. I mean, I don't think this show was, and, like, you were in college and you had that piece of work due that you had been putting off, and so it's like 12 a.m. and you're doing it just to do it, and, like, or you do something just to do something. I don't think this show was that, because some of them definitely feel like it. Like, what the fuck is it? Oh my god. The Queen's Gambit, like, and, like, most just, like, media on, like, when, like, some of the drag races too, but anyway. Like, this doesn't feel like it was rushed or not thought out or, like, sloppy, to me, at least.
Right. I mean, I can see where people are coming from in that. I mean, like I said before, I've only seen one episode, so I can't judge it off of the whole season because I haven't seen the whole season. But based off of the one episode I saw, and I mean, here's the thing though, pilot episodes are quite often quite different to what we see in the actual show. I mean, if you look at the pilot episode of Wizards of Waverly Place, if you look at the pilot episode of, I know, I love that I'm bringing that up, but it's just the first thing that came to my brain. No, but I'm thinking about the fact, like, in Wizards of Waverly Place, I have that theme song stuck in my head. Sorry, but in Wizards of Waverly Place, in Wizards of Waverly Place, the first episode, like, you barely, like, the thing is that, the fun fact for anybody who didn't know this, Jerry Russo, who is the dad, was actually edited into the episode because he was not actually in the original episode.
Damn.
So, and actually, another fun fact. See, now we're going totally off topic, but I'm going to do it anyways.
I mean, it's a pod, so
we are so not straight, and we go off on tangents all the time. So don't mind us. But anyways, also another thing about Wizards of Waverly Place is that the original premise of the show was different. So it was originally actually Justin and Alex were twins, and Harper was the best friend, and there was another best friend on. That wasn't Zeke, but it was a different best friend. That was Justin's best friend. Max wasn't in the show. They didn't have a younger brother. And the dad was played by a completely different actor.
Another fun fact from my side of the story.
David DeLuise was not Jerry Russo in the pilot.
The actor for Zeke has an OnlyFans and a spicy Twitter.
Yep.
He's a fine-ass man. I'm just putting that out there. And I hate to be, like, the one from Waverly Place, but, like, that's just, like, what most people, like, know.
Well, his TikTok, he made a funny TikTok about that, where it was basically, like, him running into someone, and they're like, are you Zeke from Wizards of Waverly Place? And then he's like, yes, I am. And then they're like, do you have an OnlyFans? And he's like, yes, I do.
It's just, like, Oh, that man is fine. He had like a beard era for a second, and I was like,
Jeez.
till the fucking paint fell off. Anyway.
Anyways, back to where we were before. Sorry about that little side thing. What I was saying was that, what was I saying? Where was I going with this?
We were talking about like grays and I don't know. We got so far off.
I got so sidetracked.
Oh, it's like harsh critique from the queer community itself. It's like the thought and effort put into the show. Yes.
Oh, I was talking about, right, and I was talking about pilot episodes and how I hadn't seen, right. Okay. Yeah, so like to get back on track, I'm gonna say this again. Okay. To get back on track, what I was trying to get at was I've only seen the pilot episode, so I can't judge based off of the entire season, but based on the pilot episode, I would say that there was definitely thought put into the show. I don't know if it was as much thought as it should have been, if that makes sense.
Maybe another pass through the cutting room.
Yeah.
Another roundtable read. Yeah, I see that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was another like major spoiler. Mary ends up getting a boyfriend. His name is Benji. He is the sweetest human being on the planet. But Benji is also a bear. And if you don't know what a bear is in the queer community, look it up. But so Mary is.
Did you like how my face had to think about that for a second? My face made
Girl,
like the weirdest contortion, and then I was like,
for real.
No, I know what it is, but my brain was like a bear. And then my brain thought logically, and I was like, a bear.
Do you know what an otter is?
No, not a bear. I know what a bear is.
Oh, Jesus. Case in point. An otter is when you have the body of a twink but the hair of a bear.
Gotcha.
So, Benji is a bear. And Mary and Benji's relationship, I think this is one of the better points in the show. Because Benji is of a bigger body type, and Mary is like shown as like, yeah, muscular and flat chest and shit. But they do have like a genuine love for each other, which I liked seeing. Because, I mean, as much as the gay community is great, it's also incredibly toxic. I mean, hello, look at Drag Race Twitter. And the entire culture around bodies and, like body image, it gets very toxic because some of these demon gays are like, oh wow, you're over 100 pounds. And I'm like, the gust of wind could pick you up. I don't want to hear it. Like, but my point being, I like seeing this in the show because they have a really good relationship. It doesn't like come to anything. Like it's not like how like typical gay relationships are shown in movies. Like it's always like the gay couple is out jogging and raising their adopted child, which slay. But it's always like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, did you see that horror movie that's about the gay couple and they have like a little like adopted child and it's like,
you lost me at horror movie.
No, okay, so there was like I was in like the theater like with the girlies like waiting to see Megan and they had like preview showing and it's about this gay couple that goes to like a cabin in the woods and they bring their daughter and but it gets like broken into and it's like it's weird as fuck and I don't think it's good at the box office, no shade. But anyway, like there's a stereotype of gay people. Back on the topic of stereotypes, there is a stereotype of like gay couples in films and it's not done here. I mean, with the premise, like there's kind of no room for it, but I liked how it was done. I think it was really cute, and I think the message of, you know, a person is a person and their body type is their body type, and if you have love for that other person, that's kind of what matters the most, you know?
Yeah, no, I love that. I was just going to say I love that. I think that the idea of having two people who look different and who kind of come from, I mean, not saying that they come from different backgrounds, but they kind of come from different backgrounds because, you know, he works in he's an agent and Benji's not.
He's an interior designer.
Oh, there you go. See, but like different backgrounds, different looks, different body types, all those kind of things, and seeing that in a relationship portrayed that way is kind of cool too.
Like a fully functioning one. Like it was just a cute moment. And then the last thing I kind of have here is Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which is it's either the first or the second episode, I can't remember, but like Mary mentions it and V talks about it because she was alive for, oh my god, excuse me, the time before that. And this is gonna sound really stupid of me, but I don't know like what Don't Ask, Don't Tell entails. Like I don't know like the wording of it. So let me not sound uneducated really quick and use the handy dandy.
I was going to say, let's
Google.
look it up.
So the Clinton administration on December 21st, 1993 issued Defense Directive 1304 bullet point 26, which directed that military applicants were not to be asked about their sexual orientation. This policy is known as Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The phrase was coined by Charles Moscow, a military sociologist.
So basically, sorry, this is what I'm getting from that. Once this car goes past. Okay. Basically, what I'm getting from that is like, basically they couldn't ask them their sexuality when they were applying, or is it that when they were deploying?
I think it's when they were. Okay, in 1994 on military. Okay, the rule was discrimination in its purest form and prevented service members from being openly queer without threat of being discharged. DADT was based on false assumption that the presence of LGBTQ individuals in any branch of the military would undermine the ability of people to carry out their duties. Over the course of the policy's life, thousands of brave service members were discharged simply for who they were and whom they loved. That is from humanrightscampaign.org.
That's a good thing to talk about, actually, because unfortunately, in our history, there is history of homophobia in the way of the military, where people would go to apply for the military, basically be found that they are gay and get discharged. And it wouldn't even be like it wasn't an honorable discharge. It was a discharge because you were gay. It wasn't like you got injured kind of thing. It wasn't anything like that. It was just because you were gay. So you couldn't go serve your country because you were gay.
This is so unserious, but like back when we didn't have like modern medicine, they wouldn't draft people who had flat feet, and I have flat feet, so I'm like, god damn it, why did we have to invent fucking orthotics and shit? Like, why? Anyway.
I have flat feet too.
Oh my god, slay.
Twins.
I don't want to show the grippers on camera. Oh my god.
I know,
God.
mine are like under here. I was like, I'm not
Some people
them.
should not wear open-toed shoes, and I did paint my toes. Anyway, but
Cute.
Some people should not wear open-toed shoes. If your toes look like the goddamn... Have you seen The Witches by Roald Dahl? If your toes look like the witch feet, do not wear open-toed shoes. It's offensive.
I got dancer feet, baby, so I
Oh
got
my god. Oh, I saw one of my friends... One of my friends is in the ABT right now, and she she showed me her feet, and I was like, "Oh, not pretty."
Like,
Don't ask why.
No,
but
imagine point dancers, point shoes. I'm not on point, may I just add, but let's just imagine.
The ABT is the American Ballet.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, let's for the people who can't see us and whatever, let's imagine point shoes, which is basically for people who don't know dance. Those are basically molded shoes to your foot that have a wood block on the bottom and that you can push up onto, and basically you sit on top of your toes.
You are dead on your toes. You're not your toes. Your toes are not like curled under. No, put your foot vertical. Like if you have seen him from the Powerpuff Girls, like his boots are what a point shoe looks like.
Exactly. So it's basically that. So imagine those, but if you're a professional dancer in those, and you dance in those every single day, now imagine what your feet would look like.
Anyway, don't ask, don't tell, right?
Sidetrack.
No, but so, yeah, it's obviously very harmful, and how it relates to this, because Mary openly tells everyone, but we still see the vicious homophobia that literally boots him, because he was top of his class, like beating record after record, and then he told everyone that he was gay and he was like outcasted. So it's like, I mean, like the premise of Don't Ask, Don't Tell is rooted in hate and all that. But it's just like, why does it matter? Like, you know, it's like, why is this even an issue? Like, why are we even nagging people about who they fuck? Like,
well, here's the other one on that, kind of, because I mean, we're still kind of in that time where, example, blood drives, like, for the longest time, and still, but less so now, but for a long time, gay men and women, but mostly men, were not allowed to donate blood.
I think there are still. Hold on.
I know there still are some, but I don't think it's as strict as it was before.
So the American Red Cross is committed to achieving an inclusive blood donation process that treats all potential donors with equality and respect. On January 27th, 2023, we received updated draft guidance from the FDA on blood donation eligibility criteria related to gay and bisexual men, which was shared in a news release from the FDA. At this time, the eligibility guidance has not changed, and below the eligibility information remains accurate. So
what does it say?
Okay. So it says men who have sex with men. The FDA guidance, so it says defer for 3 months from the most recent sexual contact a man who has had sex with another man during these past 3 months. So 3 months.
So basically,
you have to wait.
Can donate, but you have to wait 3 months. Which, I mean, yes, that is not a win, obviously, because that's dumb. But it's more of a win because at a time, no, they weren't allowed to donate at all. Now they're at least allowed to donate. They just have to
Although
wait.
the Red Cross, they basically say, we continue to assist in evaluating alternative donor eligibility criteria and expanded the use of new technologies to work toward elimination of donor eligibility questions based on sexual orientation that would no longer be necessary. However, as a regulated organization, we cannot unilaterally enact changes concerning the MSM deferral policy. So they're basically saying, we're trying, but we can't.
Yeah, it's basically like our hands are tied. Here's what we can do right now.
Yeah.
Which like I said before, at least we've kind of gone from, I mean, like I said, a long time ago, not a long time ago, but not you. I was about to say a long time ago.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that's a good point. In the grand timeline of things, it's not that long ago. Like, ooh,
but it's anyways,
shit.
it's that don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, right? In the way of, this is what I was getting at, was it's the don't ask, don't tell. Like, if we could even just take that into account for most things in that kind of way too, we would have a big development on homophobia.
Yeah. I mean,
or lack of homophobia.
It seems like big thinking, right? But it's honestly not. Like, I'm just like trying to think of where this thought is going.
It is, however, very sad that people have to hide who they truly are in these cases, though, because, like, that shouldn't be the case. They should be able to be who they are and love who they love, and we're not at that point. And you know what? We always get political on this podcast, so guess what? I'm going to get political again. Here we go. It's getting to a point now, especially in America, and I'm going to say this because DJ's American, so I'm allowed to. It is, so we're getting to a point now where everything that the queer community has worked for and has stood up for and the people have, done could be reversed. And
it's just getting Hulk smashed.
It's just, everything is slowly getting reversed. I mean, we've had the drag bans. We've had the bans on trans medication for
literal Nazis coming back. Think about
literally
that.
We're going back in history, and a lot of people don't see it happening, but it's really unfortunate that we have had these people who have, you know, fought for these rights and like fought to
Died.
love who they love and died for who they love and all this stuff, and now they're rolling over in their graves because we're literally going back into their times when they had to fight for it.
I mean, yes, that's very true, and yes, that's happening. It's not all doom and gloom. I mean, we are, as queer people, a global wide community, and there are so many of us, and we do have voices. So, I mean, with this section, please use your voice, vote, do whatever you can. But like, it's not all doom and gloom, but it is very real and it's very scary.
And you know what Michaela's gonna go do? Turn her light on, because it just all of a sudden got dark in here. Please hold for one moment while I go do that.
It's also
there we go.
I mean, okay, so like final thoughts, right? I would say if you liked BoJack Horseman, if you liked Big Mouth, it's very comparable to Big Mouth. That's another one that has a cool storyline.
There we go again.
But yeah, so final thoughts. If you liked Big Mouth, I think you'll like this. And if you're gay, I mean, it's very quotable. It's very funny. Excuse me again. It's my kind of show, but it's not everybody's kind of show.
No, and you know what? I think the fun thing about this podcast is that DJ and I think what people don't realize is that DJ and I solely pick what we're covering by ourselves. So I picked Glee by myself. DJ had no say in what I picked.
None.
DJ picked this
0.
show. Well, I had 0 on this one, so there you go. But DJ picked this show, right? And like, has it sometimes coincided where we've both enjoyed the show? Absolutely. But are there going to be shows that DJ likes and I don't? Yes. Is there going to be shows that I like and DJ doesn't? Absolutely. But what I'm saying is that I think it's really cool that we're doing the podcast this way, because it's opening our eyes to different shows that we maybe wouldn't have looked at.
No, yeah, definitely. Like, I would have never watched Glee on my own. I keep saying Glee, but it's just like, because I've committed to watching Grey's, and again, the one with the gun under the table is gonna hold me to that. But
once again, hands are clean.
You have feet. They're called grippers for a reason.
Oh, shut up.
But like, yeah, it's just like, I keep saying Glee because it's the one show that I'm like, I don't know about this one. But no, yeah, I mean, I think that is the beauty of this podcast, that we have such differing opinions, and that it really, you get both sides here, folks. You're not getting like I'm not going to name a specific podcast, but there's this one where these two queens like kiss RuPaul's ass and just say shit. Anyway.
We're not going to say which one. Nope. I know which one you're talking about, but I'm not going to
I love how you knew. Because I don't even know the name.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. So, if you enjoyed this, kind of a fun and fresh episode. It's not like live action, so it's kind of fun to get into that. But I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will.
Oh, wait, DJ.
Yeah, Michaela.
You forgot to tell everybody about our socials.
Oh, I did. Oh, you do. Okay, do you want to tell them about it?
Sure. So, our Instagram is We Are So Not Straight Pod. Our Twitter is Not Straight Pod. Our TikTok, which, again, here we go once again. Yes, I know, I haven't posted on TikTok. Again, as I said last week, I edit all of our videos. So, I have to go through all of the footage and find what I'm looking for the TikTok. So, it takes me a really long time to make a TikTok. So, actually, that being said, it takes me a really long freaking time to make a TikTok. So, if I do post on TikTok, please go and like it and follow us on TikTok. I am putting them together for you guys, so please go and like it, share it, do all those things. Follow us on TikTok. It is We Are So Not Straight Pod, just like our Instagram. I made it super easy for you to find us. Our YouTube channel, which is Where You Are Right Now, and if you don't know where you are, then you should go get a glass of water and take your meds and do all those things. Actually, this is your daily reminder. Please drink water, take your meds, relax, take care of yourself, and check in on your friends, please, because there are people out there who need you to check in on them.
Text
so
your friends, please.
Text your friends.
It takes 2 minutes. Text your friends.
Exactly, but our YouTube channel is We Are So Not Straight Podcast. That is where you can find all of the episodes from season 1 with the cast of season 2 of Call Me Mother. We interviewed almost the entire cast, so there are some really great interviews on there, as well as season 2, and all of the episodes will be on there from season 3 as well, and you get to see our beautiful faces. So why would you not want to see our beautiful faces and also our guests' beautiful faces when they are on the podcast?
Not our beautiful faces.
Anyways, but yeah, please go check those out. Subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, do all of those things. Share with your friends, family, strangers. We're trying to get more people checking out our YouTube channel, watching us on there. So if you could do that and go and subscribe to our channel, we would love you so very dearly. Also, if you comment on any of our videos, DJ or myself will reply to you as long as it is something that is said nicely and kindly. Unless it is not that, then DJ will respond to you for sure. And I'm not sure what he's going to say. So maybe just,
hide
kill
your
him with
kids.
Kindness. Kill them with kindness and leave us some kind comments.
Or I'll be hiding your firstborn for you, okay?
Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, fits of rage, or suggestions, you can email us at wearesonotstraight@gmail.com. All this information will be down in the description box and the show notes. Alright, DJ, I think that about covers it, so you can finish the outro.
Alrighty, well, I enjoyed this episode. I think Michaela enjoyed this episode, but did you enjoy this episode? I think you did. So with that being said, I hope you have a fantabulous rest of your day, and we will see you all in the next one. Hopefully I won't be sick. Mwah.
Bye. Bye.